drop in the chat in case you want to talk marketing and use this background, the Marketing Lions virtual background. You get on a call and you want to focus on marketing, feel free to use it wherever you'd like. Put it on the background today if you'd like, but however you'd like. Our ability to share our story is so important. And a virtual background in sessions when you're online, whether you're speaking or not, sends a message and lets people know how you're showing up and why you're showing up. So awesome to see you all. Hey, Mark, how's life? Man, you're available. You are like all over the globe. Where are you this morning?
Oh, I hate to admit that I am home, but just for 2 days, and then we're off again. We have the big FOLAC forum for CA3 coming up in Costa Rica in a couple of days, so we'll be heading down there. Just a really, really exciting. Just got off a week of meetings at headquarters. Our executive committee and our long range planning committee and LCIF had some great meetings this past week.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Mark. What you and your family give up for what you are doing for all of us is such a gift. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, and I would never miss these marketing lions with Mark Lyon, of course. This is something we've been doing for a few years now, and it's been very impactful, I know, for a lot of people. And we thank you, we thank Daniel, we thank all the others that have played a role in keeping this unique webinar series going.
Oh, thank you, Mark. Hey, do you want to just mention why we're playing this specific song behind us before we start the content?
Yeah, so everybody has their favorite musical groups and musical performers, and we lost one of my favorite musicians yesterday, Bobby Weir, who is one of the founders of the Grateful Dead, very popular band around the world, passed away yesterday. So we're playing one of his well-known songs in the background today. Always focus on music. It drives people forward. It gives people happy smiles, and just wants you to keep working together. So this one's for Bobby.
I love that, Mark. Thank you. And thank you for suggesting us playing this morning because it is so appropriate on every level. Always Grateful Dead is appropriate, don't get me wrong, but today it's especially important. So thank you. Hey, I'm going to leave Mark up here on screen with me. I'm going to stop the music for a moment here, and I'm just going to give you a quick lead into what we're doing today. As we look at how we tell our story as Lions, it's so important to understand what that means. We talk about it all the time, tell your story, but what does that mean? So today we're going to give you some hands-on, real world. You can take it home with you and start right now improving how you share what we do as Lions. And as a bonus, we're going to show you how to use one piece of software, live demo, that you're going to be able to take and create video reels that will help you tell that story in video. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Mark to get us started on just a few words of wisdom and open for us and get us going, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jody, and welcome everybody. We're excited about this month's session. Let me ask you all a question. Are you ready to strengthen your club's brand? Are you ready to grow membership? Are you ready to build deeper connections with your community? That's why we're here. We're going to help you with this marketing session to get into the storytelling side of things and how to promote that in new and different ways. Storytelling is incredibly important. We talk about that with Lions all the time. If we don't tell our stories, how is anybody going to know what we do? We still shy away from that sometimes. Well, we're getting better, and we have to keep doing that. So Daniel is our master storyteller today, and he's going to give us an idea on why storytelling is and remains an essential part of who we are as Lions. He's going to tell us how we can use your stories to promote our visibility and recognition and the impact that we have in all of our communities. And he's going to help you with some practical storytelling frameworks that'll help you get started on this right away. Well, that's Daniel's side of things, but then we're going to switch over to Jody. And Jody's going to walk us through some video creation using CapCut. Many of you have heard of that. We don't want you to shy away from that because it's technology. She will show you some easy ways, no experience necessary, to tell your story through video. And after that, if we have time, and I hope we do, we'll open it up for Q&A and talk about marketing general and branding and all the things that are important for your clubs in your parts of the world. So we are honored to have you with us today. We're so excited to get going. And Daniel, I think it's time to turn it over to you.
Well, hello, Lions. It is so good to be here with you today. I am going to share my screen again at the beginning. In the beginning, there was the Word, and the Word became a story, and the story helped shape the world. We are going to learn how to use narrative to increase our visibility, our recognition, and our impact as lions. Every lion has a story. In fact, every human being has a story. What's yours? What's the story about you that resonates with the world? All of us became lions for a reason. Perhaps it was a moment of kindness that changed your life, a need you saw in the world, in your community, or just an invitation from a friend that you couldn't refuse. I want to help you discover the power of your story, the way that you can use the story of your leadership, your service, and the impact that you make in this world as a lion to help inspire others to want to do the same. Today, we're going to talk about why storytelling matters. We're going to talk about the essential role in sort of how narrative can inspire actions and builds community. Because, see, we identify ourselves through stories. Culture is a story turned into the way we represent ourselves. History is a story. We're going to look at the science of the stories, how the human brain is wired to connect with these stories and these words, and we're going to talk about how you can use your story to increase visibility, recognition, and recruit. And then it will close with a little bit of a storytelling toolkit. So, why stories? We serve millions, but numbers don't move hearts, right? Lion Service Portal. Our club screened 500 people for diabetes last year. That is an incredible thing. It's a great service to do. But does it have the same impact as if you said, Maria came to our screening thinking she was healthy, but because of the test that day, she's alive to see her grandchildren because we diagnosed something early, right? Stories turn numbers into experiences, into emotions. Yesterday I was at a Melvin Jones fellowship breakfast, and we were talking about the impact that LCIF has. And it's easy to say $100 donated here helps improve the lives of pediatric cancer patients. That's an easy story to tell. But if I take a moment and I tell you that 13 months ago, I was in Morocco on a global service trip with Lions. And the first stop was the pediatric cancer ward. And we were so excited to be there to help these kids, to bring joy into their lives. And we had brought a clown with us, and we had brought music and entertainment and food and gifts and toys to give them into each of the rooms. And the first room, the first lion walked into, the child died literally, while we were in the room. And the family had nothing, nothing. They're just moments of grief, except LCIF was there to provide support. Lions were there. You see, in an instant, saying that we help people in pediatric cancer wards, then to a personal story that can resonate in different ways. Stories transform. And it's actually related to science. Stories are how we are wired to connect to the world. So there is oxytocin. It's called the empathy molecule. It creates a feeling of trust, connection, and care. It makes us feel what the characters feel. When a story is told in the right way, your brain begins to release this. Cortisol. It helps focus attention. It keeps us engaged and alert, making us pay attention to the narrative. The result, well, people who are using stories, emotional, impactful stories to motivate people to donate are seeing a 261% increase. of people donated to charity when both of these chemicals were released. Well, how do you get those chemicals to release? Well, you got to tell a good story. And so we're going to look at the formula for action. Attention plus empathy equals action. So this is the formula for meaningful engagement. First, you have to capture the attention. Open a clear hook or challenge that makes people want to know what happens next, right? How you start the story. You've only got a couple of seconds to grab people's attention, right? It was a dark and stormy night. Just a couple of sentences and we've set the scene. You have to capture their attention, right? Two, you have to create empathy. You have to focus on something that, that is relatable, that will evoke their empathy. And, stories draw attention, involve us emotionally, are ones that spur action. What can storytelling do for lions? Well, it can help us increase visibility. Media outlets and news are drawn to compelling human interest stories, not statistics, right? So, you could send in, we served 1,500 people, and that's a wonderful statistic, and it's a wonderful thing to do. But if there's a story attached to it, if there's a human interest narrative, a quote from someone whose lives was impacted, it's going to go a lot further. It can help boost recognition. A memorable story becomes your club's brand. People remember how you made them feel, and that's that Maya Angelou quote. People will forget what you said, people forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. It can help drive recruitment. Telling a story in the right way can cause people to be inspired to want to join. And of course, it can amplify our fundraising. We saw, when used correctly, there could be a direct increase in fundraising. And of course, it strengthens community. Stories become a part of identity, right? If I look at this screen and I say, where there's a need, and everyone at home says, there's a lion. That's a story in a single sentence. A story of need, and that a story that a lion will always be there. And it's a story that we share as a part of our identity. How to do good storytelling? Well, let's get into it. Start with your why. This is called the Golden Circle framework, and it's from Simon Sinek, right? So why? Your purpose, your cause, or belief. Why does your club exist? Why does Lions International exist? What is the why? And it's part of the reason why I challenge people to learn Lions International's mission statement. Because that's our why, right? It's the mission of Lions International to empower volunteers, Lions and their partners to improve health and well-being, to strengthen communities, and to help those in need with services and grants that impact lives globally while promoting peace and encouraging international understanding. That's a story in about 3 or 4 parts, and it's the why. And anytime I tell a story about lions, I remember that that's the why, right? So the how, that's the actions you take to realize your why, right? So if your why is that you're inspired to help youth in your community, the how becomes, well, we started a chess club or a homework help club or a resume writing service at libraries on the weekend, right? And the what are the results of your actions, the services you provide. So if you're thinking about this in a Lions example, we'll just use the one that's on the board here, right? The Lions example, our why as Lions is that we believe that kindness matters and every person deserves a healthy life. Well, that goes back to the why of our mission statement, improving health and well-being, right? Every person deserves a healthy life. So how? Well, we mobilize volunteers to serve our communities through hands-on projects. Heck, we can even make it more specific. We can say we mobilize volunteers to serve our communities through hands-on projects because Lion Aaron screens the kids at the Clayton High School or the preschool. This is the how, right? Uh, the what is what we just talked about. It's we provide the vision screenings, we feed the hungry and support the youth. So people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And if you're trying to get people to want to volunteer, it's not about the action of the volunteer, right? You free on Saturday to come and help me. Why? Why should I dedicate my time? Well, use the lion's example. So let's take a look at, you know, here we go. uh the story of sell us and of self, us, and now. So it is connecting your story to our story to action. So the story of self. So why are you called to serve? That aha moment that is often too referred to in Lions. So share the personal experiences or challenge that led you to become a lion. This establishes your credibility and authenticity. For me, it was Special Olympics. First Lions Club meeting I went to, the Claymont Lions, they had a speaker from Special Olympics, and I legitimately didn't want to be there that night. I didn't want anything to do with pancakes and eyeglasses, because that's the only story I knew of Lions. And yet, someone convinced me to go to that meeting, and then in an instant, hearing what Lions did for Special Olympics in Delaware, right? I was inspired. That is my why. So when I tell that story, you can hear that emotion in my voice. When I talk about that, it's something I'm passionate about, and people will connect with that. But my story needs to connect to us. It's not just it's not just about self. It is about how do we connect to your community. So what are the values that your Lions Club shares with your community? So you weave your individual, your club story together to build our collective identity. So for my club, we do a lot of hunger work, right? Because that's an important need in our community. The story of our community is that there's some food insecurity. And so we care about that, and so do a whole lot of other people. And so we can connect on that basis. And the story of now, what urgent challenge demands action? Well, if I'm telling the story of the need in my community about, food insecurity, the Food Bank of Delaware lost about 70% of their funding. And so they're unable to do all of the outreach that they've been doing since COVID started. So, what's the urgent challenge that demands actions? Well, we have an immediate need. There are at least 300 families that were relying on that in my community in order to make ends meet. And so now I've got a story about families in needs, about children going without food here that is connected to something that I'm passionate about and the community is passionate about. So that if you can take the self story, connect it to the community, and then the story of what we're going to do about it, that's where we can motivate from membership. So there's this really cool thing, and it's called the STAR method for service stories. Now, you guys may have heard of SMART, specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, timely. For storytelling, it's STAR. Its situation is the S. Set the scene. What was the community need? What problems existed before Lions got involved? So, in Wilmington, Delaware, North Wilmington specifically, there has been a food insecurity crisis because providers that had been there helping those in need are no longer there. Lions have gotten involved and bridged the gap. The task is the T. It's the situation, the task. What was the goal? What did your club set out to accomplish? Our club set out to accomplish meeting the need and providing a fresh food giveaway, which happened last Thursday, right? Action. What specific action did we take? We reached out to the local grocery and supermarket stores and asked them if they had food that they throw away on the day that it is expired. And then we give away that fresh food on that day. It has to go out that day. But we discovered that the grocery stores would love to do that, and they would love to be seen helping the community instead of throwing away food, right? Be concrete and vivid about the service provided. So we are providing, fresh meat and fresh bread and produce to people who normally may be only getting dry goods from food pantries. And the result, what is the outcome? How were lives transformed? Well, in one community in the entire state of Delaware, the Food Bank of Delaware still sends out an 18-wheeler and feeds about 300 families. And that is the community that the Bellefonte Lions Club serves, because we partnered with agencies and helped raise funds in order to keep the service going. STAR: situation, task, action, and result. Share the positive outcomes. Detail all of the things that you do, and you will discover that your stories start to get a little bit better. So let's quickly just build a story together using this, right? Okay. So at Jefferson Elementary School, teachers noticed students struggling to read, squinting at boards, holding books close. Many families couldn't afford eye exam. That's the situation in almost all of our communities, right? There's some school like that. Task: our Lions Club partnered with the school to provide free vision screenings and eyeglasses for those in need. Action: over 2 Saturdays, 15 Lion volunteers and local optometrists screened 200 children, identifying 30 who needed glasses. And the result: one was 8-year-old Sophia. When she put on her glasses, she saw the leaves on the trees for the first time and cried. Her mother told us, "You didn't just give her glasses, you gave her a future." That is how to take your service and use the situation, task, action, and result, and always end with that personal human result, something that causes emotion when you think about it. So what's your story? You've all got one. I know generally on these assignments we don't do homework, right? Because we're all well past the age where we did homework, but I'd like to offer a challenge. I'd like to hear your story. You tune in and have heard my story many a time. You've heard Jody's story. You've heard many of our Lions leaders, VP Mark's story. You're going to get to know a whole lot better coming up soon. But we want to know your stories. So think about the time when you felt proud to be a Lion, a moment that reminded you why you serve. Who did you help? Can you picture their face? Can you describe the look in their eyes when you helped them? What was the situation before you acted? What was the specific action you took? And what was the result? How did it feel? Right? So if you guys could do an amazing thing and share your story sometime this week, tag VP Mark, tag Lions Virtual, do #storytelling, #storytelling, and #we serve, so the Lions will see it, right? Share your story this week. Let's all practice this STAR method and then engage with each other. Because who knows, my comment on your page might cause someone in my community to see it and be inspired by your story. And the stories of all the people on this call could change the world. We need you to be a storyteller. Lions are storytellers. Every time you share a story of service, you do more than promote your club. You invite someone into a vision of what the world could be. Stories are essential. They connect and inspire. You have that power. Every Lion has a story. So use the frameworks. Start with the why. Use the STAR method and then the self, us, now. Share boldly. Recruit, raise funds, change lives. Our stories are our legacies, so we should be proud to sell them. Share them. Thank you very much. My name is Lion Daniel Marnie Elkins, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Daniel, thank you so much, as always, for sharing just another way for us to get our voices out there and our voices to be heard in the communities. Again, we're tired of hearing that we're the world's best kept secret. We need to promote ourselves, and we do that from within, and we do it with the stories that touch our hearts. And you've given us some great ways to think about that. What I really appreciate, and I'm sure everybody else today appreciates, is new insights. There's so much information out there that's accessible to us to think of new ways of reaching out. And you mentioned the Start With Your Why by Simon Sinek. He's a great thinker, great person out there who puts a lot of information out. Daniel Pink is another person who puts great thinking out there for people to use and adapt for their own specific situation. So I always want to encourage people to look for these things. Use ChatGPT, use AI to find new thinkers out there that will resonate with you and your Lions Club. I think that's really important for us to do. We may even talk about that a little bit next year, but who knows? There's lots of interesting and different things coming up. Again, Daniel, you always open our minds to great ideas and great ways of thinking, and I hope everybody takes that homework to heart and we start to see a real flood of unique stories out there in social media. And we see the comments, we see the forwarding, we see the imagery that really projects why we serve. Answering that why question is so important for all of us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Jody, are you ready? I think it's your turn. We're going to switch over a little bit. We're going to do a little bit of tech talk, but I think you have a great way to introduce the art of video creation using a unique tool that is available to all of us. So, Jody, take it away.
Thank you, Mark. I am excited to give you another real item you can take home. Daniel gave us very specific steps each of us can take to tell our story. But that's only one part of it. That's the words, right? So we know that showing videos and photos of lions in action, doing the service we do, interviewing the recipients of our service is so important to actually fully telling the story. So we can all take pictures. We all post pictures on our Facebook posts and our social media posts. We've got that covered. Where we tend to struggle is most of us, or many of us, don't know how to create what's called a reel or a short or a video that we can use to capture and share what's going on. So what we're going to do today is a little different from what we've done before in our Marketing Lion sessions. And we're going to go through step by step how you create a video in less than 10 minutes on a platform called CapCut. We chose CapCut because many of you have not used it before. CapCut is the premier video creation software that is used by TikTokers and all of the young humans that are putting content out on YouTube and TikTok and X across the globe. We can access it for free or for as little as $90 a year for a pro, US $90 a year for a pro membership. Today, I have a pro membership, but we're not using that account because I want you to see what you can do for free anytime, anywhere on your phone or on your desktop. So the first thing I'm going to do is drop into the chat for you a slide we're going to start sharing here in a minute. And I want to make sure that you don't have to worry about grabbing screenshots or whatever. This is exactly what we're going to be talking about first, which is what are the steps to create a video. So let me quick share my screen with you here. I know it's here somewhere. I've got 50 million things open as always. Where did it go? Well, we'll just open my screen again. Welcome to the real world of live video, everyone. All right, here we go. Okay. Apologies for the delay in this. It is still, oh, here it is. There we go. All right, let's take a look at how you create a video. Number one, I'm not going to go through video tips or photos and video tips for you or what you do in taking pictures. There's a whole theory on that, and we can do a whole different session step by step on what to look for and how to take photos. But we're going to jump ahead to what happens after you have the photos in hand. And the first thing you do is you download and select the photos that you want to use off of your phone, off of your tablet, wherever you have them. Next up, step two is you edit those photos if you need to. Oftentimes, I always make sure when I'm taking photos on my phone to put it in pro mode, so I get the best shot possible, resolution wise, and everything else. But if you need to, you can go in and edit those photos before you put them into your video. The other thing I do is I rename and number those photos to set the order I want in the video. And then I gather supporting assets like the Lions logo, my club logo, my district logo, whatever it is, text, the photo credits that I need to be able to actually share those out. And let me show you what that looks like in the real world. So we're going to stop sharing again. Apologies for jumping back and forth, but technology doesn't exactly let me share things out across different platforms easily. So let's take a look at what this looks like when we share the video, or what my Windows Explorer, I'm on a PC, so it's a Windows Explorer file. You'll see here, I was at a district convention yesterday and I had a blast with the Lions of 5M6 in Minnesota. I actually had a fantastic helper, Letitia Moning, who was taking photos all weekend, and she was kind enough to share them for us so I could create this reel for you and then for their district to use to share out after the fact. So you'll see here, I've already gone in and I've renamed certain photos out of the ones she shared with me with numbers in front of them. I'm going to show you how easy it is to change up the name on a photo in case you don't know how to already. Oops, I clicked too fast. So hopefully we can, I'll try a different one here. All right, all you do to rename is I'm going to put 10, and this is crowd at hospitality. Boom, it's done. And now it shows up in the order. So I'm all set. I've got my pictures in order. I'm ready to go. This is a key step, especially if you're new to creating videos, so that you make sure you have figured out where you're going in advance of starting to create the video. It will save you a great deal of time. All right, let's go back to that slide I shared with you in the chat and go through the next step. So now that we've got everything set up, we're prepared. We know what we want to do. We've got an idea. We've got it set up in our organized with our photos renamed, and we've gathered all of our documents and our assets. Next up, it's time to create the reel. To do that, you open up, in this case, CapCut. I have created reels in Canva. I've created reels in any number of free versions that do very similar things, and you can do the same. Pick the right platform for yourself and go with it. Then create a free account if you don't already have one in any of those. If you have a pro account, hallelujah, because you can do a lot more than we're going to see today, but let's start at the basics. Once you create that free account, you upload the photos, you drag the photos into the timeline, and the timeline is how you're laying the video out. You add music from the free library, you add effects if you have a pro edition, or transitions between photos. So effects are when the photos move and there's some sort of action on the photo. Transitions are how you move from photo to photo. You export and save. This is going to be a lot more obvious what I'm talking about in about 2 minutes when we go through and actually create a photo or a reel from those photos in less than 10 minutes, coming up in just a moment. Then you share it. You need to draft the post. The story Daniel and the way Daniel just went through and told us how to write the posts and share the posts is fabulous. Draft the post telling the real story, making it relatable and drawing people into the human interest level and angle of what we do. I also would add in there, make it audience facing. No acronyms, no jargon. Also, what that means is so often we're talking to ourselves on what we post on social media, and it drives me crazy because if I am scrolling through a feed on any social channels and I see weird acronyms, weird jargon that doesn't make any sense to me, I'm not even going to look at what you wrote. I'm just going to keep on going. So make sure your words that you're using are friendly to the real world outside of Lions. The other key tip I'm going to share with you is that you need to adapt the copy for each platform. And I'm going to use the example of going from Facebook to LinkedIn. On Facebook, we're reaching out to a broad audience of every human in our network and sometimes beyond when your posts get shared from other people. When you're on LinkedIn, you're talking to professionals. So you're going to use slightly different language when you are posting on LinkedIn. It's going to be more focused on leadership and what you learned from a professional standpoint. So make sure that you adapt that copy if you're sharing on different platforms. Then publish it on whichever, publish it, whatever you want to call it, on whatever platform you're using. And make sure you just don't post and run. Make sure you're engaging with the audience that you're talking to. Reply to their comments. If they put a like in there, whatever it is that they did, make sure you're keeping active and interacting with that comment or the comments. That will help boost your post in the algorithm of whatever platform you're on, so it's seen by more. And it helps you also have your audience feel like you're paying attention, that you really care. So make sure that you draft the post, make it outward facing, adapt copy by platform, and then publish and engage with your audience. We're now going to go to the demo. I mentioned this already. In the free version of CapCut, there's no effects and no transitions available. And that's okay. We're just creating a basic video. As I mentioned before, CapCut Pro, I pay $90 a year for it, and I more than make up my get my money's worth out of it in what I do in my work as a Lion. If your club or district wants to go there, it is well worth it to get some videos and get professional content out there. All right, here comes the real thing, guys. We're going to go and we're going to create a video with 6 of those photos live here on the air so you can see how easy this is. Now, as I'm saying that, I know full well that many of you know that I'm a marketing professional and that you're going to say, oh, Jody can do this and no one else can. And I'm like, I can't. And please don't. Here's the reality. Anyone can do this. It's clean, it's simple, it's easy, it's drag and drop. So here's what we're going to do. Let's hit create. When you mouse over create, it gives you an option of what you're going to create. You'll notice, by the way, I'm in a free account. It says upgrade here. So I am definitely in the free account. I want to create a video for YouTube or Facebook. So I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to click on YouTube or Facebook video. It now asks me to upload photos. I've already done this, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to drop a photo in here. And I'm going to drop a different photo in just so you can see. I'm over in from my Windows file, and I'm literally just dragging and dropping a file here. And you'll see that now this is my resource from yesterday image is here for you ready to go and drop into a video. You'll also notice that down here, this is called the timeline. It is automatically dropped that into my timeline. I don't want to use this video, and that's okay, or this image in the video, because that's not what this is about. So I'm going to hit delete. But what I do want to do is I want to drop into the image the pieces, the photos that we're actually using. So you'll notice they're all here, and you can see the number order. They're not sorted properly, but I can do this. I'm going to literally drag and drop each of these in the order I wanted to present this into the timeline. And I'm going to zoom out here. This is a number of functions. So here's the zoom function here. I'm going to zoom out so I can see a bigger picture right now because I'm just dropping things in and I don't need the details. So we got up to number 3. Let's drop photo 4, photo 5, and finally photo 6 into the timeline. I now have a timeline that is 30 seconds long. I don't want it that long. These are just pictures. Still photos sitting still for a long period, for 5 seconds at a time, is actually a very long time. So you see now let me zoom in so you can actually see what I'm doing again here. And this is the timeline where we are. I'm going to grab it, slide back. And it's not sliding back as far as I'd like, so let me zoom out again. All right, now we'll zoom back in. So I know I want to make these shorter. They're currently 5, oopsie, Control Z. I got a little click happy there. They're currently 5 seconds long. I want them to be 3 seconds long. So I'm going to just literally drag and drop. And you can see here, right below the main picture above, the length of time that this slide, that picture is up there. So now you'll see that this is stopping at 3 seconds. We're going to do the same, literally dragging and drop. We want this to go to 6 seconds because we add 3 seconds for each video or each photo, excuse me. Let me slide over here. Do the same for this one. We're going to go to 9 seconds. We're now going to go to 12 seconds with this one. Oopsie. Sorry, this is, I keep clicking on the wrong piece here. We want to go to 12 seconds. Oops. Let's do this one. This one should go to 15. And finally, this one is going to go to 18. All right, we now have an 18-second video laid out with the photos we want to share. Next up, let's add some music to this. This is very simple to do. Over here on the side, you see all kinds of different things that you can do. It's media, templates, elements. We're going to add an element, and that element is going to be, I'm sorry, I clicked on the wrong button. Audio, excuse me, is going to be music. And I want to use something that's high tempo. I want something kind of fun that we can add to this. I know I've got an 18-second video, so I'm going to look through, and you can see here there's an amount of time. I hope you can see this. Quaint Black is 15 seconds long. Celebration video music is 17 seconds. 3 minutes on this tacky degree. And you can listen and hear how this is working. Hopefully you can hear this in the background. I think I shared this properly here. So you can hear the TikTok, this music in the background. I like this one, let's say. And I know it's about the same length of what I need it to be. So I'm going to go over here and hit the plus sign, and it's automatically going to add it to my timeline. Now, I made a mistake. It will add it to the timeline wherever you are in the timeline. So I'm going to delete what I just did. And I'm going to go back. You could drag and drop, but I'm going to go back to the beginning of the timeline. Move this back to the beginning so it drops it in the right spot. This assures that your music is lined up with the start of the video. All right, we now have music. We now have pictures. Let's take a look at what it looks like. Not bad, but look at this. We ran out of music, right? So I'm going to do a simple adjustment. Remember, I just dragged everything a little shorter to make the video end at the same time as the audio does. So now we're at a 17-second video. It's not it's a simple video that gets the job done,
Jody,
right? Yes.
you aren't sharing your audio, just so you know,
Oh,
they can't hear the audio side of it.
thank you, Daniel. Let
Yeah.
me reshare this again. Apologies for that. So the music was selected. We're ready to go. We should be back. You should be seeing the screen again. And any future, when we play this again, you'll be able to see it here and hear the whole thing. I'm going to show you the whole video here in just a moment. So with that, we see that everything's created for our video. Our very simple video is set up. But there's one other piece. CapCut wants you to add a cover on the front end of every video. And I will tell you right now, if you don't add the cover, it leaves something generic and blank because I made that mistake the first time I used this software. So I would like to pick a video or a photo or a still from inside of here. And this is the most active, most fun picture that we've put up there that might draw people into this video. So I'm going to use this piece. I'm going to put my timeline here, cursor there, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to click on add a cover. And it's going to let me pick it here. I'm going to hit edit cover. And the reason I'm going to edit this cover is I want to add some words, right? So I want to add words to what it was and what this is about. So as soon as this opens up, it gives me my screen. These are very standard items. You can add another photo here. You can put some text in here. I'm going to put some text in here that is, and I'm going to add a title. And I'm going to make this title very simple. This is not necessarily as outward facing as I would like because our Lions names for our Lions organizational structure, our districts, is not outward facing. No one knows what this means, including half of our Lions, what 5M6 is. But this is where we're at, and I want to make sure this is true to where we sit right now. Convention. Oops, typing is important. And don't worry that it's falling over yet. We're going to quickly edit this. And this is from January 10, 2026. And so doesn't quite fit on the screen. This looks good. I want this a little bit bigger. So I can simply change it up here. I want this smaller because this is not as relevant. So I can go up here and I can make this smaller. This should look very familiar to you. This is the same operating type system that we see in so many of the simple software packages we've been using for so many years. So I'm going to drag it up a little higher and I'm going to hit up here in the upper right corner. It says set cover. There's time you can play with this more. You can add in specialty type of layouts that you can then go in and this would be the font and you can type in what you want, or you can play with it however you'd like. We are going to stick with the basics today. So we just typed it in and left the font that they recommended. With that, we have a cover, we have the video, and now it's time to export. When you export this, it's a simple download. It will automatically tell you, it shows you the video cover, and the name is going to be MD5M6 Midwinter Conference or Convention, excuse me. It's going to be a high resolution. It's going to download at the recommended quality. And these pieces, the key here is that it's, you've got the name in here, quite honestly, an MP4. If you understand these other pieces, fantastic. If you don't worry. It's automatically going to give you the best setup possible for what you're looking for. All right, well, that's creating. I am not a patient human. I am going to show you the video actually that it's creating right now from a different, English is hard this morning. I'm going to show you the video it's creating right now so you can see what it looks like and how we move forward with it. Let me just switch the screen. Here we go. Oops. Stop.
Audio is not on.
I know, I'm double checking why. I'm not sure why that is. All right, let me hit escape and we'll wait for the other piece to finish up. It's asking me to save it. My download is complete and I can now take a look at it. This should have the audio.
We just have a black screen. You're going to want to reshare.
Okay, thank you, Daniel.
Yep.
I am not sure why the audio is not showing up here. Something was off when I redid this. So apologies for the audio not showing up. We don't have time to fix that right now, but let me at least play this for you so you can see what it looks like. You'll see there's no transitions, but it gets the point across about what people were doing. If this is going to draw people into your story, that's fantastic. If you can also go back and create a carousel and reels, whatever you'd like, with the functionality inside of the Facebook app or whatever you're looking at. So that is a quick down and dirty on how to get this done. Apologies for the tech challenges. I'm not sure why my audio is not sharing. That is a concern that I'll deal with after we get off of this call. But let me show you what happens when you use the Pro version, because that was down and dirty basics, right? Anyone can do it for free. But when you use the Pro version, let me hit pause here. Let me hit share again. When you use the pro version, you can add those effects that make the pictures move and change and the transitions between. So I'm going to show you a reel I created for our go in Constitutional Area 1. We're doing a Let's Grow workshop. So take a look at this reel and you too could create this just as easily as I did. Okay, now my computer has locked up. So let's see. There we go. It stopped sharing. So that version was created in the Pro Edition with something called a template. Other people have set up these preset pieces that we just drop pictures into, and it already has the effects and the transitions that we were talking about already preset on the videos. I hope that helped a bit in understanding how we set up our video, how to create a quick and simple video. I do want to share a piece that I used yesterday, the session I put on yesterday. Oh my God, I forgot to show you about this, posting it. What is wrong with me this morning? All right, let's try this again. Let me get to my Facebook page and let me show you, because I haven't posted this yet. I've got the video, I've got everything all set to go, but I have not yet posted it. I was waiting for our video. So let's hope I'm going to post it. I might have to fix it because obviously we didn't have audio, but we'll get it out there to start with. So let me get to that quickly. And I don't know what the heck's going on with my world today, but obviously I'm a little bit off today. So apologies for the delay here. All right, let's try again. Now we should be able to get to my video. Here it is. All right. I wrote a post earlier today and have it all ready to go because I knew we were going to be doing this. It talks about what I did yesterday, why we did it, and all of the things, and how much fun we had. This convention was really well laid out. So now I want to add that video we just created. So to do that, I'm just going to go simply click over here. I'm back in the folder. It's the typical Windows folder of where I created the video. I put it in the same folder with the photos. Double click. It's checking for copyright content right now and violations, which is very important. You can set up video options, whatever, but look at this. This is now ready to go. And I'm hitting post. I don't want to chat with customers right now. I want to get this out here. So let me go to my home page. It's might be just taking a moment here to upload. Let's refresh a couple times. Let's refresh a couple times. Give it a hot second to get that loaded. And you know what? In the interest of time, we don't need to sit and watch this happen, but in the interest of time, go to my Lion Jody Burmester Facebook account and you should see it as soon as it gets done processing that video. Yeah, because it's not done. It's going to take a hot minute. My session yesterday, just as a bonus for you all, was about basics of Facebook marketing and how Lions clubs who are not savvy on social media can get going and pick it up. So I am happy to share with you the access to those materials as well. So you can go ahead and be able to share that out with you and your clubs also. With that, sorry about the issues. Wow, it has been a week and it's only Sunday. Hey, Mark, come on back, my friend.
Hey, I am here. Never apologize. This is all good stuff, and we're doing this in real time, so makes it even more relevant for all of us that are going to be trying this for the first time. I've already got my account ready to start up. I'm going to start putting that out and trying, to use these CapCut reels on my postings on a regular basis.
Thank you, Mark. And you're right. We shouldn't apologize. We're all learning here together. Quite honestly, I had tested, and this is when we do any of these. This is fair to tell you all. Behind the scenes, we test and practice everything many, many times. So when it doesn't work on air, it's very frustrating, at least for me. I'm not going to speak for others, but I hate making mistakes. So just one of my little idiosyncrasies. So appreciate you sticking with us, but you see the reality of what we all go through as we're learning things, and it's okay. Go back and just add that music, re-export the photo or the file, whatever it is. You can fix it. And I would have done that if we had time today, but I don't. We are on a clock today. But some of these things that we create takes hours for us to get prepped for you. So don't feel like you have to do it in 10 minutes. If you can do it in 10 minutes, but it doesn't always work in 10 minutes. How's
We
that?
can't always do it in one take, right, Daniel? It sometimes takes multiple shots at doing these things. But Jody, you did a great job. You shared so much information with us, and I know that our attendees and those that will watch this later on their own time, because I think many of us may want to watch that again, just to get the basics down again before we feel a little more comfortable about going in and using the product, either the free version or the pro version. It's certainly out there and accessible to all of us.
Excellent. Thank you, Mark. And the other, I'm going to reiterate again, a lot of you already have Canva accounts. You can do the exact same thing in Canva. I created a video in Canva this morning that is the same video with different music under it because it's a different platform, a different product. But I created the same video in Canva and it also took me about 10 minutes. And that was the first time I've ever used Canva to create a video. And it's as simple as that drag and drop. And it's prepping in advance is so important. Once you've got that prepared and you know what your story is, quite honestly, I often write my story first so that my video then goes with it. It's all kind of going on at the same time. So there you go.
And that's what I intend to do with the stories that I tell from my travels. I like to give a lot of narrative, and I think that's important. I think the Lions that read my stories like the detail about the meetings and the service projects and all that. But I think I can really enhance the photography piece of it with these types of videos. And like I said, I'm gonna try real soon, and we'll see how that goes. If not, I know who to send an email to, right?
Exactly. So hey, hey Mark, let's bring Daniel back on the screen. And then I haven't been watching the chat because I was a little busy online here. Uh, are there questions we can answer on what we shared today or other marketing questions? We got about 15 minutes, I think. And
Tell you, there's a lot of positive feedback in the chat room. Questions wise, maybe of course they want to know if they can get the AI recording after the presentation. That will be available for all the participants. As always, we want to make sure that we are sharing all this great information with them. Uh, I haven't picked out any other specific questions, but just some really good commentary. Daniel?
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions that came up here. So someone had asked whether or not CapCut can also do video in with the pictures that you're doing.
yes. So I specifically chose to do photos because I only had stills, but you can mix video and stills in the same piece. Um, when if you use both on the free version and on the pro version adds some more bells and whistles, obviously, but you can do that on either one. It's a great question.
And there was also a question from Lion Janet about whether or not you like to upload to Insta from your PC or from your phone, because Insta generally goes better with the pictures directly from your phone.
So
Um,
with photos, I always go for my phone
mhm.
because it's clean and simple. It's already there. I don't have to do anything with it. I may have edited them, but they just go directly from my phone onto my Insta app, okay? But if I need to create a video, there's a CapCut app on your phone that you can download for free as well, or you can log into your professional account. And I use that. I am not as adept at that. So I tend to do all of my video editing on my desktop or my laptop, and then I move it over to whatever platform I need. And so I happen to be a Google person. So I am tied on my phone to my Google account. So I can go into Instagram then after I create the video wherever I create it outside of my phone, and I can upload from my phone if I so choose. I haven't had problems with uploading videos to Instagram from my laptop or my desktop. But I do know that sometimes it gets a little persnickety about those things. So great question.
I've got a couple questions here that are related to each other and they're really good. And I want to give a shout out to Leo Nadesha for answering the question, but Jody, maybe you can add to it too. It was about voiceovers. Can you do add voiceovers and especially for access for the blind users? Any update on that?
I love that. That is a great question. I know for sure you can do that in the pro version. I haven't played in the free version enough recently to know if that's an option. I do believe in Canva, I know for sure you can because I saw that this morning, and I'm 90+% sure you can do that in the CapCut version as well. And that's such a great and such an important point. Not everyone, you need to make sure that you're getting it out there so everyone can participate and interact with your and engage with your content. So adding that voiceover would be a great next piece. And if and even in the free version, I believe AI will write your script for you or will do the voiceover for you if you don't have someone comfortable with doing that. I suggest using a real voice, having someone that can talk through that script, have them and talk through what's going on. That you lay in there also alongside, you can add another track, so to speak, that another layer, whatever you want to call it, that allows you to add that voiceover and keep the music.
Great, great question. Great response. Thank you.
Mhm.
Daniel, I think you saw another one. If not, I
Yes.
have one.
Yeah, there is. What if Don asks are there any like copyright limitations if you're adding logos and things to that? And I would just say all of the normal limitations apply. Do not be using other people's logos or brands unless you have the express permission. Now, your Lions Club does indeed have that express permission, but we do have brand guidelines that are available on lionsclub.org. Just search for brand kit, and that will give you all of the Lions logos in the correct format that you need for adding to it. So that's what I will say is when you're using, especially the Lions International brand, make sure you're using the official versions. It's not an alteration. And I see a lot of clubs do great work by like putting their club names as a part of the logo and all of that. That's actually that's not within the brand guidelines, right? You can't alter
Even worse,
things.
Daniel,
Yeah.
they're even worse, Daniel. They're using a logo that's over 21 years
Oh,
old.
right. The red.
That is a soapbox issue for me. Do you
Yeah.
see that logo on Mark's shirt on his left-hand side? Mark, lean back just a little bit, please. That is our logo. There
Yes.
is no red tongue. There is no, I don't know, whatever it is you're
Well,
using. You have got to get on board with the brand. We are all together here, right? And if we don't represent ourselves as lions the way lions are today, that is a problem.
yeah.
Anyway, sorry, soapbox issue.
No, no, it's okay. But in regards to other people's like musical copyrights, the great thing about CapCut is that it has a library of sounds that have been approved, and then those musicians get licensing and ad money from you using it. So absolutely, if
The
you are
same in Canva.
yeah, if you are adding a song that is not from their official list, just be, careful and aware, that you don't have the rights to make money off of that. So if you just be aware of that. So I generally say always go with the pre-approved sounds and always use the official logos.
Yeah. We've had some great feedback in the chat box too. Some people that are adding on answers to questions that we've already raised before. I just wanted to lift up Christopher Chinapu for indicating that you can also use captions for the deaf and use AI for alternate text captions or alternate text area in the social media platform. That's really important too to give that written word addition to your postings. Jody?
Yes, because the other thing I'm seeing on posts that's really, if you can't do the video or the audio voiceover, okay, because not everyone has that capacity, and that's fine. But what you can do is you can write a script for that and drop it at the bottom of your post saying, this is what the photos represent, this is what's there, and you can give a little description on what each one is. That takes it out of you having to add an extra level of tech to what you're doing and makes it approachable for any human on this call and beyond to be able to do it themselves. And quite honestly, we should be doing that. We should always be doing that. We should be adding that description of photos at the end of every post we put out there for those who are sight impaired and cannot see them on their own.
Excellent, excellent. Do we see any other questions out there yet?
I'm not sure, but I have a question for Daniel because
Uh-oh.
Daniel, I love the angle of sharing our story, and the impact of our story is most well felt when we actually give a human angle, right? But do you still recommend that we actually add the numbers? We screened 100 or 75 people yesterday and made so they could see. And let me share, Maria, whatever, for the impact. How do you suggest we handle that?
Absolutely. I would suggest that you report the numbers in the Lions portal. So we are documenting our global impact. That's where the numbers matter, right? Is the Lions portal. Now, if it increases the impact of a story, great. I mean, think about it. You've got that friend who went fishing and he told you he caught a fish that was this big, right? That's a number. And it makes the story more impactful because he's using a bigger number, right? And a larger size of measurement. So absolutely. Like if you have screened 20,000 children throughout the state of Indiana because of use that as a part of that. But I can tell you, numbers, don't impact the heart the same way as you put a name, a face, and an emotion to it. And that's where it'll truly resonate.
Hey, Daniel, one thing I wanted to talk about with storytelling too is, a lot of states in the U.S. have like their state poet, their state songwriter, and that. Wouldn't it be great if some of our districts could designate a multiple district storyteller, someone who really has that ability to share perspectives, to share passion, to share the joy of service?
So, Mark, it's funny that you mentioned that. You see, so I'm from West Virginia, and West Virginia has this contest every year, and it's a storyteller contest. It's, the Appalachian storytellers, right? And to me, I have always wanted to see something like that on an international level. I would love to see a storytelling competition at the area forums in which every single, CA1, CA2 puts a champion up, CA3 puts a champion up. And then ultimately speaking, at an international convention, I don't know, maybe Washington, D.C. or someplace, there could be a storytelling competition of sharing all the inspirational stories around the world. That to me would be an amazing thing to do. If only we knew somebody who was going to be international president one day.
Just never know what's going to happen, do you? Great,
I
great
want to go
idea.
back to, we have many of our clubs and multiple districts don't have a marketing chair or a communications chair, whatever you call it. If you have one, rename them to storytelling because that's what we're trying to do. When people see marketing, they don't understand that marketing isn't bragging and it's not sales. It's about telling our story. So rename them to storytellers. And if you don't have one, find one. Here's the deal. There's someone in your district that does this. There's someone in your multiple district that does this. Ask them to step up and inspire and help others to be able to share a story. Because the reality is we can talk all day. If you don't take this home and do something with it, if you don't act, what's what's the point? Our world needs us more than ever. And right now, it's sitting with you guys to take it to the next level. So very important for us to add that up.
What a great idea for a new club potentially too. To
Oh
get
yeah.
together at the multiple district level, have a multiple district sponsored club that deals with communication and storytelling, just to be that designated group of people, bring new people in to share their new ideas, why they're here, to answer the why.
I have
Uh,
goosebumps.
Something to think about, right? We can do that globally.
Yeah, we don't have, it doesn't have to be big steps, you guys. That's the other thing. It's one step at a time. Start small. Those of us that do what we do right now didn't start knowing all of this. We tried something, we tested it out, we failed, we learned from that failure, we started again and did it again, and we kept going until we got to the stage we're at. And that's how it works with everything. So take one step, try one thing, update your storytelling, use the star, use all those approaches Daniel gave us. Then go out and create a video. The first video I created, I saw the other day, and I'm like, oh, it helped me recognize how far I've come because I've had the experience and tried things. You can be that, you can do that too.
All right. I am not, although we're having a great conversation here and offering new ideas by the second, I'm not seeing any additional questions in the box. But so Jody and Daniel, why don't we wrap things up here for today? Again, another great session, very unique conversation, very unique topics that I hope our participants have enjoyed, and we know that people will continue to share this session with each other for a while now. Let's talk about our next session, right? We need to move things around a little bit because schedules are pretty busy. So we're gonna do our next session on Tuesday, April 28th. And that's, yes, that is a Tuesday. But we want to do one more session this Lions year to do some amazing end of year stories, which are still in development. No secrets being divulged here, but still in development for April 28th, a Tuesday, and it will be at 7 a.m. Central Time. That's Central Time US. So we will, of course, be communicating the subject matter with plenty of time so we can get this great audience of like-minded people who love marketing, who love branding, and want to be ready for that next opportunity to share their story. So we look forward to seeing all of you then. Invite your club members, invite your friends and neighbors, get them involved in this, help us tell our stories, help us learn some of the new technology that's out there, and really be making a difference in how we promote what is the world's greatest service organization. Jody, thank you. Daniel, thank you. For everybody who's been on the call today, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing all of you in our travels in the days ahead. Stay well. Enjoy your winter conferences that I know are coming up. Fill in those calendars. And thank you so much for all you do. We really appreciate every one of you. Have a great day, everybody.
One last note, I'm dropping it in the chat one more time. This video is going to be on the Lions Virtual YouTube channel by tomorrow. So go ahead and check that out, and we'll see you all next time. Thank you, Mark, for all you do, and safe travels, my friend.